What's up, guys? Trusmilesjones here. Normally I don't make a lot of political videos, but this 2016 presidential campaign is of the utmost importance. Let's talk about that. It became clear to me that Donald Trump is definitely not smarter than a 5th grader. Not to mention, he had no idea how to answer the questions he was asked.
What are your plans to help the fight against racism in this country?
His only response was,
law and order. Put more cops on the street. Stop and frisk.
Where?
Where the minorities reside.
So technically that means that cops can have any reason to stop you on the street and ask for your ID. The moment you reach for your ID, what could happen? Bang, bang, bang. You could lose your life.
You could lose your life.
None of this is new news. Racism and hatred have been going on in this country for centuries. Only difference now is that now we all have cell phones with cameras. This shit ain't new. In the debate, Trump was asked,
when are you going to release your taxes?
in his words, you saw it yourself.
I will release my taxes when the audit is done. I've been audited my entire life. Blah, blah, blah. Duck face. Other stupid things he said.
And then he said,
I will release my taxes when Hillary released the emails.
a lot of people believe that Donald Trump is not releasing his taxes simply because he's not as rich as he says that he is.
And
And a lot of people have no idea that those buildings with the Trump name on them,
don't belong to him.
homeboy sold his name. Maybe, just maybe, he's not as rich as he claims. Please understand this video is not being made for you to vote for Hillary Clinton. This video is being made for you not to vote for Donald Trump. Because what you don't understand is if you don't vote, you might as well be voting for Trump. That is how he's going to win. Because minorities are like, well, I don't like either one of these candidates, so I'm not gonna vote. But the problem is, if you don't vote and Trump is elected, I don't think you understand the seriousness of that. There are already radical extremist groups, racist people who are open about it. They're already saying that if he's elected, they're gonna start killing us in the streets. Blacks, Hispanics. If your skin is darker than khaki, well then look out. If he is elected, all hell could break loose. Let's not forget that the only thing that this man is known for is,
You're fired. You're fired.
that's it. That's it. He's never served. He's never done any political work in his life. The only thing that he's known for is,
You're fired. And I hate black people and women and minorities and anyone who's not me or white and rich.
make sure you vote. I gotta say, I'm not Team Hillary. I'm not.
Woo, yeah, Hillary!
I'm not a Hillary extremist, but there are a lot of things that she says that I do agree with, and she is definitely the better candidate than Donald Trump. So please vote. You can vote. You can register to vote online. It's simple. All of y'all out there in your Instagram and your Snapchats and your Facebook, why don't you put that on pause for like maybe 3 minutes? Go to your state website, register to vote, and get it done. Because without you, there's nothing we can do. So tell your friends, tell your family, go out and vote. Help us. Because if Trump wins this election, we are in trouble.
You know, when I started, my daddy gave me a small loan.
A small loan of $14 million. That is not a small loan. If you think that the murder of these black teenagers and the mass murders of the Orlando shooting, if you think it's gonna stop there, you are sadly mistaken. People who were supposed to protect us, the police, are shooting us dead. And I'll say it again. This is not new. The only thing that has changed in the last few decades is technology. Now there are cameras everywhere. Now you see it. My mother emailed me a letter that was written by a woman named Ariva Martin. And she is a very well-educated Black woman who wrote this letter to Donald Trump. And I would like to read it and share it with you guys. Dear Mr. Trump, I'm sorry, but Black women didn't get the memo on how poorly educated we are. I know this is what you believe because according to you, our schools stink and we live in squalor. It's not that folks like you haven't tried to convince us for decades that we're an abject, downtrodden race of people. However, icons like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Fannie Lou Hamer, Maya Angelou, Reverend Cecil L. Chip Murray, and my godmother Ethel Thomas taught us to never, ever, ever buy into the negative stereotypes that have only been cynically foisted upon us in order to oppress and divide us. These civil rights giants taught us, and yes, I count my godmother amongst them, that we have to be twice as good and work twice as hard as others to succeed. And guess what? We listened to our elders and followed their advice. As a result, Black women are quickly becoming among the most highly educated people in this country. Not bad, given your caricature and fantasized summation of our existence. Like usual, you sadly and grossly misstated the facts, distorted the data, and insulted hardworking and educated African Americans last week when you made your pivot and pitch to African American voters with the now famous line,
You live in your province. Your schools are no good. You have no job. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? Vote for me.
The reality is, Black voters have everything to lose by a Trump presidency. And we are way smarter than you. Your tone-deaf speechwriters and your GOP colleagues who have neglected us, downplayed your blatantly racist statements, and have consistently fought to turn back the clock on our hard-earned civil rights. But our progress continues nonetheless. According to the National Center of Education Statistics and the U.S. Census, more than half of all Black women, specifically between the ages of 18 and 24, are enrolled in college. And Black women overall outspace other race and gender groups in terms of college enrollment. Black women also earn the highest number of degrees amongst all racial ethnic groups during the study periods of 2009 and 2010. Black women earned 68% of associate's degrees, 66% of bachelor's degrees, 71% of master's degrees, and 65% of doctorate degrees earned by Black students. I'm proud that my daughters and I are included in those statistics. Without a wealthy daddy like you, I graduated with honors from the University of Chicago and Harvard Law School. Not bad, given that our community schools were no good. And although I lived with my godmother and grandmother in a housing project in North St. Louis, living arrangements as you would characterize as abject poverty, we were, in the ways that truly counted, some of the richest people in the country. Our community was steeped in the American values of inclusivity, hard work, humiliation, and the I can attitude that propelled me and many of my friends to attend some of the most prestigious universities in the country and obtain advanced degrees. And though my daughters start from a very different point in life, one has already graduated summa cum laude from a top U.S. college, and the other is on the dean's list as she enters her second year. With all of our smarts, my daughter and I, with millions of other Black people, categorically reject your assertion that our lives are and have been a living hell under Obama and the Democratic Party. Undoubtedly, we have work to do to address high poverty rates amongst black children, gun and gang violence in some pockets of our communities, and youth unemployment rates, which are nowhere near the 58% that you erroneously cite, that are persistently above the national average. But we also know that many of these problems are rooted in deeply embedded race-based policies that Democrats have been fighting for decades to change. With the Herculean resistance from your party, we are independent thinking people who are fully aware of our history and are fully capable of analyzing and measuring our own progress. We can't be duped, and we won't allow you, Mr. Trump, to gloss over our successes and minimize our gains. We are fully aware of the fact that under Obama's administration, the black unemployment rate has been cut in half from its all-time high. Draconian sentencing rules for nonviolent crimes have been slashed. More people have health insurance more than ever before. National crime rates are at an all-time low. More civil rights investigations on police departments have been initiated, and more African Americans, Latinos, and women have been appointed to high-level cabinet positions than under both Bush regimes. In closing, I wish that you and your team would research the statistics and at least make an attempt to learn and better understand the African American community and its many layers. We are not the thugs that your advisor, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, consistently depicts, nor are we the downtrodden people that you characterized us as in your Detroit speech. As the study reflects back, black women and men are highly educated, motivated, and engaged. We are not naively voting Democratic because we are uninformed or unaware. And we cannot vote for you because you refuse to even acknowledge or accept that we are smart enough to know the difference between those who really seek to serve our interest and those like you who seek to yet again exploit us. This time is not cotton, but it's pretty damn close. Sincerely, a black educated woman. Just make sure you go out and vote. And if you do, please, don't vote Trump. A no vote is a vote for Trump.